Welcome back to Business Day Dialogues. We're talking renewable energy, for and against the government's program to bring new renewable energy producers into the grid. Is it good? Is it bad? What have been some of the challenges? Brian, we haven't really talked about what does this mean for your average South African electricity consumer, actually? I mean, what are we gaining here? Are we just paying more for the benefit of cleaner power? Are we getting more power? Does this solve our problems with not having enough power?
Well, it gives you two benefits. One is a feel-good thing, that we're doing the right thing. Now, some people will put no value on that, and other people will put a lot of value on it. Second thing it's giving us is the point I made earlier, that the credibility of the whole program is making people come into the country as investors and develop. So that's good for the country. And I think what Mark's just said is that the reduction in prices between round 1 and round 3 has not been because of changes in technology. It's been because of risk pricing.
So DG, is this just a feel-good thing for the Greens, or is it doing anything to extend access to electricity to all the people who don't have it?
I think it's more than a feel-good exercise, in the sense that we are beginning to see, obviously, we are going to be seeing, it might not be today, but we're going to be beginning to see a difference in our emissions profile. And also, it will also challenge us, even how we operate our own grid. What we need, therefore, to do is that we need to make sure that people have access to modern form of energy. And one of the things that we are saying is that we are looking now at increasing the size of the panel for the households in order to gain more services out of that. And the only way we're going to be able to do that if our solar panels are more cost effective. Because
I mean, on wind energy, we'll be paying less than the marginal costs of other big generation options like coal and nuclear. So in effect, wind energy is constraining the extent to which general electricity prices will increase in the future. That's a feel-good for the consumer, but it's a very concrete and real thing.
The University of Pretoria says the external cost of Medupi is 90 cents per kilowatt hour minimum. You could disagree with that, but that's the figure that's out there. 105 per kilowatt hour. New wind, 74 cents or 66 cents per kilowatt hour. So there's a huge saving, and the best estimate that we have without the externalities is just round 3 will save the country 15 billion rand over 20 years.
Why shouldn't we go all renewables, turning the question on its head?
The WEC scenarios that we just published a month ago show that we are not going to achieve the carbon targets that are predicated on current technologies. There has to be a major breakthrough in terms of energy storage to stabilise the renewable systems, and if you don't have carbon sequestration and storage, you're also not going to meet the carbon 450 targets. That's absolutely clear in all the scenarios that have come out of the WEC work. Now,
that's the World Energy Council.
The World Energy Council's scenarios, which were published at the World Energy Congress in Korea a month ago. The other thing that has come out of that work, both their scenarios work and their energy policy work, is to say that the idea that renewables will replace all new capacity is also a myth and will not happen. The experience that we're now getting from Europe particularly is that you have to be careful about putting all your eggs in one basket. And so we are going to need to maintain an energy mix.
And I think it's pragmatic that we think about a diverse energy mix.
Absolutely.
But you asked the right question of what's the appropriate complement to renewables. So renewables are variable. The complement to renewables is definitely not nuclear. Nuclear has to be run as base load.
You can't
constant.
switch it on and off.
Yeah.
Gas is the obvious complement to renewables.
Mike, would finance be one of the constraints to this? I mean, is there the capacity in the system to actually fund all these projects?
I think the capacity is there, but just not in the current sort of shape and form. So as Johannes said, what we will see over the next 20 years, so most of the banks are actually looking at 2010 and saying what will be produced what will be procured over the next period. We're now talking into the trillions of rands worth of investment. When we talk nuclear just estimates maybe 9 gigs, probably $300-400 million US dollars. The coal-fired IPP is alone, again, another 300 billion rand. So the numbers we're talking about are infinite, but the issue is that it comes along with economic growth. So as the economic growth picks up, bank capital increases. As bank capital increases, so we can allocate a bigger allocation of cash to the sector. Each year it's an incremental increase. Also what happens is, a lot of what Brian said, as the international community is becoming more comfortable with the fact that this is an investment destination, so the international banks will follow their customers. They come along, they do what Mark requested, which was that they bring innovation plus they force down pricing. So it really is evolutionary. The issue is that we cannot stumble. We need to keep moving in a forward direction.
I mean, the important question to ask Mike is, and I'd never advocate attacking any other technology, so this is not meant to be an attack on nuclear, but will Nedbank be financing the next nuclear power station?
Yes, we will. Because we, again, to us, there's the controversy in nuclear is a debate. It'll take up a panel discussion like this 20 days and we'll never come to a conclusion. But fundamentally, because it's in the ERP mix, to us, the economic development of South Africa is fundamentally important to us as a bank. And this is not a moralistic story. We don't make money if the country does not evolve, and if businesses aren't created because you can't build a new factory because there's no power in the mix. We got a business. So the economic imperative is that whatever the demand side of the power need is, government takes the decision as to how to procure that, to supply that demand. If it's part of the mix, we need to support it.
Nobody here has mentioned climate change once. And I was just saying to Anton in the break that if you go to the energy forecasts done by supposed experts internationally, they look at the world population growth and then they say, well, the demand therefore will follow the world population growth and we will continue to use so much energy. And then you have other people saying, well, environmentally, we can put so much carbon dioxide into the atmosphere and then civilization ceases to exist. Now, which one of those two are you going to be following? We're following the former.
As one of the biggest polluters in the world, we need to change the way we do things.